Hello, we are live. Welcome to Synth Pop Sunday. Welcome aboard. You are hearing the last bit of this show today. This is Kraftwerk. Great way to get it going. Anyway, thanks for hanging. We've got some great stuff coming up this afternoon, so don't go anywhere. Does it look like I just woke up? Probably. Anyway, enjoy Kraftwerk.
Okay, great. Hey everybody, this is Ivan from Men Without Hats, and you're watching DJ Phoenix on the Groove Zone.
Hi, this is STERRY from Real Life here. You're on Neo Retro. How fabulous is that? Ow!
Oh, hi, this is Billy Curry. You're listening to Neo Retro.
This is Jez from Utah Saints, and you are watching and listening to Neo Retro via Olympia, Washington, with DJ D Phoenix, the awesomeness.
I'm Joe VIZVARY from Images and Vogue.
Oh
You're in the Groove Zone.
So what is up with the volume on this, I wonder? That would be a fun thing, wouldn't it, to have the volume not work on a day like today? Let's see what we can do with this. I don't think that it's Andrew Mann. Ready? Gonna hit this, see what happens. Fingers crossed. Wow. Really? Okay. Well, that's all right. That is okay.
Neo Retro FM.
Probably should take these off long enough to see what's going on. Don't go anywhere. We are here. We're live.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Because our masters don't give a damn about you or your family. All they care about.
Yo, what's going down? This is your boy Dub FX. I am doing a show called Hook, Line and Thinker with DJ D Phoenix on Neo Retro FM, so tune into that.
For ourselves and for future generations. A new world order.
Neo Retro FM.
The law of the jungle governs the conduct of nations.
Man, and you are listening to Neo Retro.
Ow! This is Drew from Strange Advance.
Hi, this is Ted from Book of Love, and you're listening to Neo Retro FM.
We are the Groove Zones, Neo Retro, Olympia, Washington.
Hi, this is Debian from Colorbox, and you're hearing me daily on Neo Retro.
The station with the best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
And that's pretty exciting stuff, actually, don't you think? All right. And I want to say, too, thank you to my ad guy.
Experience the new alternative.
Good morning, Mr. CEO.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, Drew, can you say something so that we can test your audio?
How about I'm eating a picnic?
Oh, like that. Full of nuts.
Oh my gosh!
I'm not full of nuts in every bite.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Yep. You don't want to know. You
I
don't
don't
want
wanna
to know.
know.
It's one of the best chocolate bars ever invented. It's got fruity nuts in it, but it's smothered in milk chocolate.
Smothered.
Yeah.
I love it when things are smothered in milk chocolate.
Yeah. The Smother Brothers.
I got it. Hey, good morning, you guys.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, good evening. Good
Good evening. That's
it's
right.
Good afternoon for me.
Okay. Let's see now. Clive, where are you at right now?
We're in Orange County, California.
Okay, so you and I are on the same time zone then.
Yes.
And Drew, you are in.
I'm in London.
You are in London. Okay, cool. And at what time is it there?
It's 8 o'clock in the
Way
evening.
past his bedtime.
Oh my gosh.
Way past my bedtime.
Well, I'll tell you, I cannot thank you both enough. What an absolute honor and exciting thing this is to be able to hang out with you guys for a little bit today. You are listening to Neo Retro. This is DJ D Phoenix coming to you live from Olympia, Washington today. And with us, I have two members of Wynn and Rome. I am so stoked to be able to introduce both Drew and Clive. Guys, good morning.
How you doing?
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Well, and good whatever time of day it is. Drew.
Mr. DJ Phoenix, where are you in Phoenix?
I am.
Now he's in Washington, just up the street from us.
Yeah, I am in the same. Well, I'm in the same area that grunge. We gave you guys grunge.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, was it Nirvana and all them lot?
Exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you, something totally Orwellian is the only way that I can describe it. How are you guys? How are you guys getting by through all of this fun stuff that we're dealing with?
Drew?
Clive?
No, I'll go for. Of course, for us, being and it's a little bit different for Andrew. Of course, he'll speak for himself. But
right.
I've got a studio set up in where I live, and so I've been very, very lucky to be able to. If I get, of course, we watch a lot of films, me and my wife, but when I get any inspiration, I can just walk into my studio and I've got guitars to play with and keyboards to play with, and so I still enjoy what I did right from when we first started the band and stuff. So I'm very lucky in that respect. I think if you talk to any musician, I think that you'll find that they'll say the same thing. Not that they're lucky. You can't say you're lucky in this period of time. It's just that we are a little bit more fortunate because we're still allowed to do our hobbies. Right.
Well, today anyway. Now they might put a restriction on us tomorrow.
Well, you never know. They might come and take the speakers away and the guitars and everything. We might not be able to have fun anymore, right?
And they're going to take every picnic bar that you've got stashed somewhere.
Yeah.
They're going to have to struggle over that because I'm down to my last one. Because,
I'd guard that one with your life, mate. In fact, split it in half and send me half, quick.
Oh my God.
We'll get stocks. We'll buy shares in Picnic, or whatever.
There you go. There you go. How are things?
It's slightly different, sort of down here, London. I mean, first time round was a lot easier, I think, because we're in lockdown again.
That's what I heard. Right after Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're really pushing home this time of. Saying that London is super, super bad. I sort of spend my time between Devon and London, which I suppose you're not supposed to, but I don't see anyone anyway, so it wouldn't make any difference. I think first time round, the lockdown was a lot harder. Here in the UK, I mean, we're dark at 4 o'clock. So it's cold and it's winter.
Oh yeah.
And the heating's on. So if you're not up early and you've not gone out and done your walking and your shopping and your bit of exercise for the day, then you're back to
experience the alternative.
It's 90 degrees out and you are having to mask up. That wasn't very fun.
No. It's quite scary, like you say, when you walk into anywhere. I mean, when I was back in the UK a couple of months back, I walked into a shop that I used to go in when I lived there, and all the perspex that's up and everything else, and people arguing with each other, older people not being able to do, because older people are used to getting help with the grocery and everything else, and helping them with the checkout and everything else, but and they've never done it before, and you could see them saying, "We've never done this, we can't do it," and blah, blah, and it was such a. But I don't know, what is the answer? That's the point. Where is this all going? Do you think?
Well, I know.
On Clive.
Yeah, I know it's a big debate, but it's very difficult for people to say something that's not opposite to that. We're in a massively dire situation, and the fear that's going around with it. And if you'd mention anything about that, there shouldn't be any fear, then you get a load of people on your back about it, which is really quite, like you said, Orwellian. If people have stopped giving their opinions on stuff, it's very difficult.
And I don't know if these are, they keep saying that this is the new normal, that this is the way that, things are going to be. I don't know what the answers are. Edit that, blah, 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 blah. All right, so that was Deacon Blue, Dignity, and hanging out with Wynn in Rome today. We put that one out to Clive. That was the track he wanted to hear. But Drew, I would like to get a track from you if I could, my friend.
Okay, well, I just happen to have about 1,000,001 written down here because
you did this last night.
I've been doing this with Clive. We've been putting a top 10, well, top 50 it's going to. It's gone more than 10 now.
Okay. Are these like your top favorites?
Yeah, well, these are the ones that sort of in mind at the moment, with relative what's going down. And I mean, I could be really, I could Love Breaks Down, Prefab Sprouts. We could have
Ball of Confusion.
Air.
No doubt.
Air, Le Femme d'Argent.
You clever devil.
We could have David Holmes, Trunk, which is out of the film Out of Sight with George Clooney. There's a scene in that which a guy called David Holmes wrote, which is really good.
Okay.
We've got Abraham, Martin and John, very relevant at the moment.
I just listened to that not that long ago. Yeah. Great.
Have you heard the Tom Clay version of that? That Tom Clay version of that is fantastic.
I'll have to check that out.
Tom Clay, Abraham, Martin and John. It uses the original track, but there's speaking in there and stuff. So.
Ooh, I'll definitely check that out then.
Yeah.
Eve of Destruction.
And also Chris Isaac with Wicked Game.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good.
Which one are you going to choose?
I'm going to let DJ Phoenix pick the one out of there.
Well, I'm going to go for one of the first ones you mentioned, and we're going to do Prefab Sprout.
Yeah, when Love Breaks Down.
Totally, yeah.
Hi, it's Clive Farrington from Farrington and Mann, original members of Wynn in Rome. I just want to do a shout out to all of our supporters. We don't call our supporters fans because we don't like that fanatical thing that's going on. We call them supporters. Just want to give a shout out to them and hang on in there. We're going to be over this soon. I know there's a big strain on everybody at the moment, and we believe it's real. It's real, and we'll be over it very soon.
That's right. Yep. Awesome. Clive, thank you. And
really, just that hopefully, we will be back this year, or towards the end of this year, probably. It'd be lovely to get back up to Washington, which is one of my favorite places in the States, Seattle.
Find me if you do. Let's do coffee or drinks or something.
And come on, you Seahawks.
What's that?
Seahawks.
And come on, you Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Seahawks fan. He's always been from leaving school.
Drew, I apologize, though, because I totally butted in right on you when you said Washington. Please finish. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
What place did you, when we played somewhere, is there a place that they call Seattle as well? Is there another name that they call it?
Well, there's Washington, D.C. and there's upstate Washington.
Oh, exactly. But remember, there was a place that we played.
In Seattle?
Yeah. We both said hello. So, it's one of those old
faux
pas that musicians do. They're in a place and they call it something else. And
I think it was a state fair we were playing, and it's got a really weird name.
Oh, that was Pile Up.
Puyallup.
That's the one.
Yeah, Peel Up.
Puyallup.
Peel Up.
Yeah.
Pile Up.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's one of the native names. That's why.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we've got less than a minute. So for on behalf of the DJ crew here at Neo Retro, I want to say thank you very much both Clive and Andrew of Wynn in Rome. Guys, have yourselves an awesome day and evening.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sometime.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
See you very soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much.
In a bit. Bye-bye.
Bye. So this is DJ D. Right into this. Yeah, let's just go right into it because this is going to be a fun one. No, it is. Hey, absolutely. You're listening to Neo Retro. I'm DJ D Phoenix, coming to you live from Olympia, Washington tonight, and very special friends. Actually, a very special guest. I've got with me Sherry Mother Nature Wynn. Sherry, how are you?
Hey, babe. Doing good, thanks.
Good. And we are here with a very special guest. We're hanging out with David Sterry of Real Life, and David is down in Melbourne, if I believe, if I'm correct.
Yes, that is Melbourne, Australia, not Melbourne, Florida.
David, hello.
Yes, hello.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little while today.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So
I'm kind of fan geeking out here, you have to know.
Go for it. You've been have this. So, talk away, girl. You have some. I know you've got questions or something for him.
I do. I have a couple of questions. You know, I was listening to Sirens, and yeah, it's cool. What made you want to make a 16-minute song? Did you just have that? Because it seems like 2 songs.
There's sort of 2 answers. The first one is laziness, that I didn't have to write beginnings, choruses, middle, eights, and ends for like 5 songs on an album. And the other part of that is that I grew up on some albums like Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and Metal, David Bowie's Low, a lot of albums that had like one side that was a whole piece, a concept piece. And I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. There's never going to be another Send Me an Angel. We're not going to get played on radio. What do I feel like doing? And it was writing this, it's loosely a concept thing about the myth of the sirens. So I thought that would be an easy thing to do. But then I thought, oh my God, yeah, I've got the siren song, which I love the song itself, the sirens. But then I have to make the sirens sing. I thought, oh no. But anyway, I managed to get the sirens singing, and then of course the person of the narrative, you know, starts drowning and doesn't quite realize it. So there's a hole in my soul where the rain gets in, and I thought, well, how am I going to get out of this bit? So I thought, okay, aliens. You know, he's crying for help and he's in the water, and there's aliens from outer space go, you know, we're out in the solar system, we're here to listen, and they'll save him, but they don't. And he ends up drowning. Poor bastard.
Aliens.
Oh, that's where, because I wondered where the line from the bottom of the ocean came from. That's him drowning.
Yeah, yeah. So the very last piece is sort of melt. You know, Sirens has 5 parts, you know, that are kind of little songs in themselves. So the last one is Melt, where the aliens have just pissed off, and a mermaid with a beautiful voice just says, "Melt into me." So it's dying in the ocean. And it also relates back to the opening line of the song. The first line is the song is, I listen to silence. I listen to it every day and no one can hear me, not in this world anyway. The further I fall, the closer I get to heaven. Are we there yet? So so closer I get to heaven, then from the bottom of the ocean, I'm closer to the moon. So
yeah,
I was trying to be really clever. I'm not.
You were clever, almost too clever. Took me a minute. I like the song. I like the whole album. It's very cool.
Thank you. I'm absolutely proud of it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. I worked very hard on it. It's basically just me on my own, of course, but I'm very proud of it. I love it.
And what?
Cool.
Sorry.
What album was that off of?
The new one.
The Siren.
Oh.
Brand new. See that? Brand new. Look.
Look.
It's available on CD and vinyl, gatefold cover. It's fabulous.
They do still make those.
Well, I did. I decided from when I thought if I'm going to write a record, you know, I don't, you know, I get iTunes and all that stuff, but I don't like it. I don't listen to it. I thought I'm going to make an old-fashioned record where you sit down and you read every word on the cover, and it's a gatefold album. It's heavyweight vinyl, so there's vinyl and CDs of both of them. There's only 300 each, but I did it for myself. I did it just because I wanted to.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So you really, you haven't stopped all these years working on music. You've had a number of different incarnations of the band. And then even beyond that, though, you've still managed to put your own work out there, which is great.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I was never like a great front person. Like, I didn't have the personality of a Mick Jagger or a Michael Hutchence or a Bono. So I'm always associated with real life. So I thought, well, I know it's only me in real life these days, and whoever's standing behind me is the rest of real life. But I thought, you know, bugger, it's my brand. There's no point in trying to be, you know, David Sterry. No one knows that. It's real life is the brand, and I've kept it.
And I think it's great, because I know that some artists, as they move on in their careers, especially further down the road, they will either try and totally move away from the original concept or the original band, and totally lose their original fan base, except for the diehards, or they'll hang on to that. And I think that, well, like, Sherry, I don't know if you were with us, but out at the Evergreen Ballroom, saw Les McAllen's Bay City Rollers.
The what?
Oh, yeah, okay, the Bay City Rollers. Wow.
No, you didn't go. You were feeling sick, and I had your albums autographed, remember?
No.
You don't, the Bay City Rollers?
Bay City Rollers, yeah. I love them. That was like my first, yeah.
Okay, right. And what was my point? Oh, for God's sakes, I have no idea.
It was about the one person carrying on the name.
Yeah, carrying on the name. So you didn't have to be a Bono, and you didn't have to be a Sting or anything like that, because at that point in time, David, when real life first popped onto the American scene, we needed something like you. Send Me an Angel was darker. Well, it was darker. It definitely had. It was exactly what that time needed.
Yeah.
You know, actually, our keyboard player at the time, Richard, he said when he first heard it, I remember distinctly playing it to Richard backstage at a club we were about to play a show, and Richard said to me, "Why do you have to always be so negative?" Because he thought the lyrics were so negative. And then the reason is that I've always had anxiety and depression. I can't write anything really happy, even though I can be happy. Right. So it seemed like a darker version of something, didn't I? Agree, it's not a happy song. Didn't I? Agree, it's not a happy song.
Well, and the visuals for the video, you know.
Well, that's
Misty in the forest and all that.
Yep. Well, it's interesting talking about that video. There'd been some horrible fires in Victoria with the state of Melbourne, where the state of Melbourne is. Melbourne is the state of Victoria. Okay. Some huge bushfires, and a whole lot of people had died. And these two guys called the Rich Kids that were directors, their first video clip was a song called Shivers by The Birthday Party, Nick Cave's band. So these guys were going to direct our first video, and they said, let's make it kind of Beauty and the Beast. So we went up to where the fires had been, and We had the girl in the video is the sister of Roland S. Howard, who was in the birthday party, who tragically died. So the girl is Roland's sister.
Wow.
The young girl in there who's not in it very much was in a movie called Dogs in Space that was about Melbourne, and Michael Hutchence is the star of that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Dogs in Space. Write that down and look it up. It's fantastic. Dogs in Space.
Okay.
Yeah. And the guy who did the makeup eventually won an Oscar for makeup on Braveheart.
Wow.
So it was quite an epic little cast. And the guy on the horse is the bass player from Crowded House.
Oh gosh.
And he was wig. The wig that the mask he's wearing was made by the guitar player from Icehouse, an Australian band. So
wow.
My Lord.
Yeah.
What?
That's cool.
A regular fan does not know that. Oh my gosh, David, that is amazing. Just out of curiosity, though, which member of Split Enz, the bassist, who was it?
Nick Seymour.
Oh my gosh, no way.
The bass player. Player, yeah.
Wow. How cool is that?
Wow, that's wild.
I know. What a fun. I love that, because now I'm going to watch that video next time so much differently.
I just watched it. I had to pull it up.
Yeah.
And then right next to it was Catch Me I'm Falling, and I just couldn't help but think, God, do you, David, go back and go, what was I thinking, like with the fashion and stuff like that? Because I know we loved it, but
no, we had stylists, which and for the Angel video, we felt really good because we didn't look Australian. Australian bands had jeans and t-shirts on, and that was it. You didn't dress up like a girl, like we were dressing up in Send Me an Angel. And we had a stylist for Catch Me I'm Falling as well. And they decided we're going to do this kind of white clip. It was going to be all white. And I wasn't very happy with the way I looked in that clip. That's for sure.
I love it.
I'm not happy. The first clip I was happy with me looking, the way I looked was Kiss the Ground off the, and Babies, the Babies video, because I directed that.
That song.
Columbia Pictures presents Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy, Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, and Mayor Winningham in the movie that's got the heat.
You know what it is? It's St. Elmo's Fire.
The heat this summer is at St. Elmo's Fire. Rated R. Sneak preview tonight. Check.
I hear the floor grumble and groan under my weight, but something more. I hear the crack, the glass is formed beneath my feet. Still I take the step. Don't you know this is all gonna fade someday? But I can feel my life slip through your fingertips until you burn blue, until you burn blue, and no one knows better, and no one knows better than you do. We're filling up our cup with everything. Still we want some more after dark, when we go walking among stars. I try and name them all. Don't you know this is all gonna fade someday. But I can feel my light slip through your fingertips until you burn blue, until you burn blue. And no one knows better, and no one knows better than you do. And after all, and everything, I realize the devil's been playing my strings. Don't you know this is all gonna fade someday? But I can feel my light slip through your fingertips until you burn blue, until you burn blue. And no one knows better, and no one knows better than you do.
All right. I want to stop this real quick and just say welcome aboard. You are watching the Groove Zone's production presentation of Synth Pop Sunday. Sunday Synth Pop. Back and forth, rock and roll. Anyway, this is a great afternoon for us. We are about ready to go with Jez Willis of Utah Saints. This one is featuring DJ Duckie out of Seattle, Washington. Here we go, kid.
This is Drew from Strange Advance.
Hi, this is Ted from Book of Love, and you're listening to Neo Retro FM.
We are the Groove Zones, Neo Retro, Olympia, Washington.
Hi, this is Debian from Colorbox, and you're hearing me daily on Neo Retro.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
It was an uncertain time. How could one sleepy northwest town change everything?
And now a word from our sponsors.
This is the Groove Zone.
Well, good morning. Or good evening.
How are you?
Hey.
Evening time.
How you doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Darren, and it's very good.
I'm Jez.
Very good meeting you. What time of day is it over there?
6 p.m. So,
okay.
Yeah, and you're 10 a.m. Is that right?
Yeah, you bet. And
cool. Whereabouts are you?
I'm a bit south of Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle, Washington. Yeah, tucked up in the northwest. We're the capital. We're the Washington State capital that keeps getting into trouble.
Cool. Yes, I know. I know. I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter the end of last year.
Yeah. How's it going where you're at?
Well, yeah, we've got our kind of version of Trump here, I guess. So we have our own challenges. I think they're pretty much universal around the world at the moment. So
ain't that the truth? We're going to be joined in just a moment by one of my DJs.
Cool.
Jeffrey, who goes by DJ Duckie.
This is the Groove Zone.
This is Jez from Utah Saints, and you are watching and listening to Neo Retro via Olympia, Washington, with DJ D Phoenix, the awesomeness.
Rock and roll. Oh my gosh. What an awesome thing this is. I was a DJ just on the side for years, and when you guys released the first Utah Saints album, totally remember it to this day. 92, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. I Want You is probably one of my ultimate favorites.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually, even back in, I think as early as 93, I was playing it here. So you guys got exposure up. I don't know. I loved it. Yeah. But what was my point? My point being, I can't believe, first of all, that it's been that long since the first album came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? My listeners know what I sound like. Good morning. Let's hear from what's new in your world. What's going on?
Okay, so the interesting thing about what happened after our first album, and it's interesting you pick up on that track, I Want You, because there were 3 singles in the UK before that, and you know that something good with the Kate Bush sample, and that was what got going in the States was that, and it was it got picked up by I think called MTV Buzzbin, and the record company got on the back of that, and off that went, and that got a big push. And then I Want You sampled the band Slayer, so it had this like guitars going on, and so that's how it kind of had the guitar-y stuff, and then the beats, and we were trying to mix the DJing and everything. Inadvertently, that caused us a few issues later, because when we came to the second album, the record label in the States wanted us to take more of that direction, so kind of go in the kind of Nine Inch Nails kind of area, and the UK record company wanted us to go more in the kind of housey KLF type of area.
Yeah.
And we wanted to just go our own thing, but we were kind of quite young and naive and not really knowing what we wanted to do. So as a result, it caused us big issues with the second album, because we didn't know what we were trying to do, because so we kind of lost direction and focus. So that got binned, and then the second album kind of came out. We did do a second album which came out in 2000, and then and then I'll put in where the records came out, and I'll tell you what we were doing in between in a second. But basically, then we had a kind of fluke hit in the UK, because Something Good, the one with the Kate Bush sample, was sampled by an Australian act called Van Shee, and they had a kind of electronic arm, a bit like Death from Above used to have an electronic arm, and Van Shee did a remix of Something Good. They pushed it back to us. We did a bit of work on it. It came out in the UK on Ministry of Sound, and it went top 10 again here. So that gave us a new lease of life here. So off we went following that round. And then 2012, we did a collaboration drum and bass track with an act called Drum Sound and Bassline Smith, who are a drum and bass act. And that came out in 2012. And then that was the last time we put a track out. So in between all that time, we've always made music. We've found it tricky to release it sometimes. And we've DJ'd, and we've promoted nightclubs, basically. So, so in amongst all that, that's kind of what we did.
Oh my gosh, I was looking at. Okay, so I don't always totally believe everything that Wiki says, but I'm taking a pretty good guess that like most of what it's saying about you is right. What a busy guy! I mean, you haven't stopped. In fact,
No, we haven't stopped with music, but that's through necessity as much as anything.
No,
But you know, we haven't stopped. We've been very lucky that we've been able to stay kind of in the industry, and there's always a cost to that in terms of everything. You know, I'm still out. I put in long hours still, but ultimately I love music, and I like meeting people who love music, so that's good.
and it just goes with territory. Now, am I wrong, or do we have Jeffrey with us?
Oh, I'm here. I've been here for a few minutes, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys. I mean, and I didn't realize we were doing video, so you have me at a disadvantage. I'm not presentable remotely for video, so I'm audio only.
Jeffrey, I'm okay with that.
Nice to meet you, Jeffrey.
Nice to meet you. Jez, is it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Not very, very nice to meet you. I have to confess really quick that I'm not super knowledgeable about Utah Saints.
That doesn't matter.
But I just started. Yeah, I remember a couple of your songs now that I listened to them again because I was, trying to do a little homework for this last night. I said, "Oh yeah, I know this song," and then you guys sampled Human League too, didn't you? Believe in Me.
That's right. We sampled.
Yeah, you said, and I think it's what is it?
Is it Love Action?
Love Action. Yep, that's it. Love Action. Yeah. Oh, I love you, Love Action. Yeah. So you sampled one of my favorite bands of all time. See, so
great.
Yeah, immediate good points with me here for that.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you're good people if you're sampling the Human League.
Jez, Jeffrey and I've known each other for going on probably closer to 30 years. But he and I both kind of came from the same area, and I've wanted to get him in on a couple of my different projects over time, and I finally got him with us this last year on the radio project. And
hey, Snoopy, wake up! It's time to brush our teeth. Good grief, it's time to brush your teeth with your Snoopy toothbrush. Brushing right makes you smile bright with your Snoopy toothbrush.
Snoopy makes you want to brush your teeth.
Good grief, it's fun to brush your teeth.
It's fun to brush your teeth with Snoopy.
Happiness is a battery-operated Snoopy toothbrush by Kenner.
Hello, my name's Penny. I think people shouldn't do drugs. They can make you forget things, like which animals have stripes. And your body might get clumsier, so you can't jump rope as good. Drugs can get you in big trouble. You could go to principal's office or go to jail. Then you can't watch TV or eat pizza. Recess is good. Hamsters are good. Birthday parties are real good. Drugs are bad. I wouldn't do drugs.
On shows and everything, so I'm really glad he was able to be here with us today.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very nice to meet you, sir.
And you.
This is the Groove Zone.
What? So when was the last time did you guys tour again? You were saying earlier it's been a while.
Well, no, we in terms of touring in the States, it's been a while because, a number of reasons for that. But we've still been, up until the pandemic hit, we were still out at least like once or twice a month, and so we things like we curate a stage at a festival up here. Our arena holds about 800 people, and we can put on DJs for the whole weekend, and that's great. And then, as I say, putting on nights. And about 4 years ago, we put on our own festival, which nearly killed us. I'd never do that because you look at how hard can it be, and it's really hard. It's really hard.
Kudos to you though, because there's something. It starts here, and you've got this like brainchild of what you want it to turn out like, and then there's the monstrous beast at the tail end of it. That's like, what happened?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Fun stuff.
So yeah, it's been a while since we've been. It's been a while since we've been to the States. It's been a long time since we did a proper tour. I mean, there's a few reasons for that. One is it's as the whole world is kind of getting trickier to tour in terms of, you know, it's quite a big process now to get a work permit. I mean, we have done it, and there's nothing stopping us getting work permits, but it's a bigger process than it was when we started. And it'd be the same for you guys coming to the UK. Unfortunately, you know, there's a whole heap of stuff that goes with it, which I get, because, you know, I don't want to steal anybody's job, but at the same time, it makes it very, very tricky, and it's expensive. So you have to kind of factor all those things in.
Right. And isn't this this is a movement that Sir Elton John is the part of, isn't it?
Yeah, he's part of that for Brexit, for Europe. I mean, that's now happened for us for Europe, but with the States, it's always been to get a work permit in the States, we have to get sponsored by someone in America, and then we have to get the dates together, and then we have to send some forms back. Then we need a lawyer, attorney in New York.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry you have to put up with all that garbage.
No. Listen, it's not. Hey, I know it's not your fault, but at the same time, it's a system, and it's the same for people that coming from the States to the UK. If it's the other way around, it's equally laborious and tricky. So that's one reason why it makes it tricky to come in and out and do one show. You know, that's hard.
I mean,
yeah,
it would be nice, but I guess unless you're Mick Jagger and the boys, but you know, they had a pact with Satan, so that explains it. You know, not that him and Phil Collins. I'm sorry, excuse me. Phil Collins can go from, you know, continent to continent in one day and perform again. Other than that, though, yeah, you're right, Jez, because it is really hard to pull off anything of any degree successfully. Yeah, it's funny how that all works out.
It is, yeah.
You're DJing. Where can listeners hear you DJ at?
Well, I mean, we're on social media, and we're slowly doing the odd kind of DJ stream thing. So there's a couple of bits on SoundCloud and Mixcloud, and it's all at Utah Saints. And the Twitter, you know, we try and keep up the thing with Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I mean, to be honest, we've always just been taking care of business ourselves, so there's a lot to do. so we're not as efficient at everything as we should be, you know. And every time if we have a hit, and obviously we have a big record company thing gets involved, but on day-to-day stuff, out of the last 30 years, which is how long we've been going, probably, you know, 20 years we're kind of self-contained, and we do a lot of that ourselves, which is where we started. We kind of started as an indie kind of independent act, and we've kind of kept that up. Although
Jeffrey, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Jeffrey. Yeah.
What? No, I didn't mean to. Although I did have a question. I did have a question for you. Although I really hope that Darren hasn't gone over this with you before in the 30 seconds before I managed to jump on the call.
No, we started, so you're good. No.
Oh, okay. And I also hope that you weren't planning on asking this question, Darren, because I don't want to steal your thunder or anything. But
this is you.
Oh, okay. So, Utah Saints, how did you come?
Experience the new alternative.
We're very sorry. We seem to be having technical difficulties for some reason. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We are seeing if we can adjust this. And we thought everything was running smoothly up until that point. So hang tight, kids. There we go. Hopefully this will do it. Hit that. You ready? Okay.
Hello, my name's Penny. I think people shouldn't do drugs. They can make you forget things, like which animals have stripes. And your body might get clumsier, so it can't improve as good. Drugs can get you in big trouble. You could go to principal's office or go to jail. Then you can't watch TV or eat pizza. Recess is good. Hamsters are good. Birthday parties are real good. Drugs are bad. I wouldn't do drugs.
On shows and everything. So I'm really glad he.
Well, Kaz already told you who we are. There's one thing you need to know about us. What to? You can leave your friends behind. If your friends won't dance, and if they won't dance with them, no friends of mine. We can go where to, it's a day we'll never find. We can like come out to this world with the real ones far behind. We can dance. We can go where we want to, and it's young and so am I. I bring a dress real deep from our hearts to our feet, and surprise with a victory cry. We can act like we want to, we don't, nobody will.
You know what kids love? Monsters. I'm Gorgonzola, one of the new monster vitamins. We come in a haunted house, 7 of us.
I'm Screaming Mimi.
I'm Squeaky. I'm the Blob. We're delicious. Mom, we think children should get vitamins by eating right, but when they don't, monsters can help. New monster vitamins, and monster vitamins with iron. Look for the haunted house in your favorite store.
Good morning, Mr. Seal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I kept thinking, it's like, well, so what is my knowledge of Images in Vogue? And everything goes right back to that concert that I was telling you about when you guys opened up for Duran Duran. How far into your guys' career was that? And that would have been what? I think that was 84, I think.
84, March 84, I think.
But you guys formed in what, like 1980 or 81?
81. In fact, we're about 8 weeks away from our 40th anniversary. Because we
Really?
formed in April in 1981.
Well, happy anniversary.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah.
Because of COVID, we have nothing planned.
I know.
I know, what a bummer, huh?
Yeah.
What is it looking like up there with the situation? Any idea like when the restraints might come off?
We don't really know. We do most of our performing in Ontario. We like to perform in Vancouver, but actually half the band is in Ontario and half the band is in Vancouver.
Okay.
So we do 5, 6, 7, 8 shows a year in the Ontario, Southern Ontario, Toronto, and other areas around there.
Okay.
And we've been out regularly for the past several years, maybe 4 or 5 years. But all our shows for last year were canceled, kind of as a cascading effect. We had a show booked for March, and then May. In fact, you had Strange Advance on. We had a show booked with them in May. That's been rescheduled for this year for May, but we still don't know whether it's going to go ahead or not.
I just recently heard from Drew, and actually he wants me to get a hold of him. In fact, I'm getting a hold of him in 2 weeks from today, and I think I'm going to have him back on the show, but I might actually get the entire band on with me. He was saying, though, that you guys have done a number of performances together.
Yeah, we first time we performed with them was in September 85 when we first moved to Toronto. We were Vancouver based, but in the summer of 85 we were changing record companies, and we thought we'd spent so much time touring in Eastern Canada, we should relocate there. And so our first shows there were for 10,000 people at the Ontario Forum with Strange Advance. We were opening for Strange Advance. We did 2 nights with them. Then we've done several shows with them at different universities and different concerts over the years.
Awesome.
And early days, second album, third album to work with them.
Okay.
We've known Drew going back and Daryl quite a ways when they were in other bands in Vancouver, and we borrowed their Mellotron for one of our songs in the studio one time. So we've been in touch over time, and some of the other musicians that are in the band as well.
Nice. Drew is an awesome guy. I had a great time last year with him, so I'm really excited to get him back on the show with us. Wow. And he was telling me the same thing, though. Basically had like everything ready to go. In fact, I think that Strange Advance were ready to hit the road pretty much when they said, nope, hang out at home for the next year or so because you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, I know they had 2 shows that we usually do. One, there's a sort of a small, they would call it unplugged, but of course we're electronic, so it's just less plugged.
Less plug. That's good.
Less plug.
Yeah.
Or actually, in some ways, it's more plug because there's no guitars at all. It's just four members of the band doing it, and they were going to do that show and then a show with us and the Box, and I think Information Society.
Wow.
A bigger show. And
Oh wow, it sucked. Yeah.
Canceled very late because it wasn't really clear what was happening in Ontario, and it got really bad there pretty quickly.
Did it? Okay.
We're booked. The show that we have booked for May, right now, coming up May 12th to 13th, is with Strange Dance as well. So
really cool. And where's that going to be? What's the venue?
This is Saga, which is the suburb of Toronto.
Okay.
Charity benefit for Ronald McDonald.
Oh, I'll have to keep my eyes open. I definitely love to. I wonder if there will be some kind of like a broadcast or a stream of that. Do you know?
I don't know. They haven't done it before, so I'm not sure what they'll do. But right now, everything is being shut down for so long. It's just hard to see whether they can get the equipment together again and staging. No one's done anything like that. A lot of the people that do that kind of work are doing something else.
Oh yeah, they've gone to the grocery business.
Yeah, it's hard to get a crew together and things like that because they've had to work at other jobs.
Right. Hey, Jeff, because you're hanging out with us, my friend, do you have anything that you wanted to bounce off of Joe at all?
Well, first of all, let me confess that I'm not super well versed in images and Vogue. I think I'd heard your 83 single. I mean, your big one.
Is that the Call It Love?
No.
Love to Love.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I actually made some notes for this. And let me. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Lust for Love, and then. So yeah, I think I was familiar with that. It was good to revisit it, though. And then In the House from your 85 LP, which I guess is your first album, but you had an EP or two before that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we had 5 EPs.
5 EPs. Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to get an album out.
So, and then I also was listening to Just Like You and Rescue Me. And I think it looks like those were from before your before the album, before the In the House album, right? Just Like You and Rescue Me.
And what'd you think?
And just Like You reminded me a lot of. I was getting some Gary Newman vibes, so I was wondering if Gary Newman was an influence at all for you guys. That one just sounded very little Gary. So I said, "Wow, this is."
Yeah, well, that's a song that developed out of live performance in about 82 into 83. And so Gary Newman definitely inspired some of the people in the band, including me, that it's possible to have a band that's mostly or all keyboards.
Right.
Yeah.
I played in bands, and a lot of the other people played in bands that were pretty conventional in their lineup. And I'm a keyboard player. I mean, I can play a guitar, I can play the other instruments, but I'm basically a keyboard player. And I always was kind of saddened that the keyboard player was always the guy at the back of the stage next to the drummer playing the string part while the guitar players were doing it. So part of what we tried to do with Images was we felt that we could get those same emotional values and musical values out of keyboards, paralleled in some way. And of course, in those days, synths were kind of new, the sounds weren't as extreme or as harsh as they became later on.
Right.
But we felt that we could do the same thing, create a lot of different moods with keyboards. And so Gary Newman, Ultravox, and Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, and just in general, bands that had all keyboards or very little of other instrumentation. We were very inspired by those bands, just as a whole group. And Gary Newman was definitely one of those.
And look at his career. I mean, what, 40 something years later, and Gary Newman is still putting stuff out. Put something out about a month ago. I saw
his last tour. It was an amazing show.
Oh, you went and saw the last tour?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Not that long ago.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Okay.
double tour for the previous album. Because I saw him, I didn't get to see him back in the day because I was a gigging musician, and when he came to Vancouver, I didn't get to see him. But more recently, I've seen him 4 times.
Really?
And every time at a larger venue. I saw him in a small club about 5 years ago, and then every year he's gotten a larger crowd, and this time it was about 2,000 people in a big theater.
I saw him once in 2003, I think it was.
Did you?
And yeah.
What tour?
Oh, I can't remember because I wasn't really following his career at that at that point. As one of his gothy, moody, albums. But he was great.
Yeah.
He was fantastic, and he doesn't seem like he ever really stopped. I mean, he's pretty much been going continuously. I mean, I don't really recall a lull in his career where he just kind of stopped and then started. Hasn't he been pretty much just going, Gary?
I think it's been pretty steady, which is a good kind of a segue, because Joe, that kind of brings me to what I wanted to bring up with you. When like you kind of go through that period where maybe the sales have died off, or the listener base doesn't seem to be as heavy as it was before, and then years down the road or somewhere down the road, and then there's this like peak in interest again. And how does it feel to kind of be at that point where like you guys are going to be back out on the road again after all these years? Are you a little, hesitant or anxious, or what's kind of going through your mind?
Well, we're not anxious about something like that. For one thing, we never had such high record sales that and that's probably why not so many people have heard of us in the U.S. for sure.
Right.
We didn't really. Our idea of success was different than our record company's idea of success.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah, well, I can imagine. I can imagine.
But for us to get together and play, it's just a lot of fun right now, because we've done one shorter tour in the East. Generally, we go for a 2 or 3 day set of shows, and do that several times a year. We'd love to do a tour, but the logistics of that are sometimes hard. It has to be kind of a package, a couple of other 80s bands. We do a lot of shows with the Spoons, or upcoming we're doing with Strings of Dance, or the Box, which is another Canadian band. I'm not sure you've heard of it. But for us, it's fun that we still have our audience. So we're kind of the ultimate cult band in that we had some songs on the radio in Canada, especially, that were fairly well known. People know Lust for Love, and they know Call It Love, and they know In the House.
Right.
But we've also had a pretty solid core of fans that have stuck with us since that time, and they've always been communicating with us. And we did have our kind of hiatus from, let's say, 1990.
From rock's new wave comes K-Tel.
Now, don't go anywhere, because we've got still a few hours of programming left. However, what we're going to do, and all you have to do is just refresh your page. We're going to switch our stream right now. So, like I said, don't go anywhere. After this commercial, we'll be right back with Joe VIZVARY of Images in Vogue. Thank you very much for watching. Hang tight.
Cheap Trick, the Ramones, and Yainuma. Pretenders. Rock 80, the killer, cut after cut, in tune with the 80s from K-Tel.